of the Cursed Lake. Chapter 3, Ripples of Absence. Part 3. After every door closed on me, the shopkeeper's resolve cracked under my shouting. Her voice came in a frightened whisper. "Jenkins, old man by the lake. If anyone knows, it's him." Jenkins, the name echoed. The thought expanded, filled the silence, filled the shadows. She knew. They all knew. They were cowards and liars and silent conspirators. I wanted to scream it, to shout and shatter the village with their own terrified words. Instead, I nodded and left her there, clutching at herself, making the sign of the cross, making me want to laugh, want to rage, want to run. Jenkins. I'd find him. I wouldn't stop. I couldn't. I didn't wait. My feet carried me before the thought could settle, before the fear could root me in place. The path back to the lake pulled at me like a tide, swallowing each step as fast as I could take it. Someone had to have seen. Someone had to know. And if the old man by the water had the answers, I would drag them out of him, word by word if I had to. The villagers' silence had cracked, thin as ice beneath a boot, and I felt myself falling through into something colder, deeper, something alive and waiting. I stumbled toward the shore. Dusk spilled over the surface, turning the lake black, swallowing the last light. My heart punched in my throat, in my skull, in my feet. The edge of the water blurred with mist and feathers, white specks on dark glass. They drifted in still, deliberate arcs. They knew. I watched them, frantic, raw, feeling the breath leave me in small, violent gasps, feeling the life leave me. And then I saw him. He was exactly as they'd said, tall, gaunt, white-bearded, like a ghost in the twilight, but not quite. He stood with one foot on a moss-covered stone, leaning toward the lake, casting breadcrumbs like secrets, like sins. The swans gathered near him, closer, as though hearing something silent. He looked like he'd been there forever, like he'd never leave, like he was the lake's reflection. "Jenkins," I called. I couldn't stop myself. I could hardly keep my balance. I moved closer, staggering, calling his name again. He turned to face me, slow as the turning of the earth. No fear, no surprise, just the stillness of someone who has seen too much to be moved. His eyes were pale as winter skies, soft as fog on the lake's surface, and just as hard to read. When I caught his arm, it felt weightless beneath my grip, as if the years had hollowed him out from the inside, as if I was holding a future version of myself, emptied, worn thin by loss. "Anna," I said. "Anna, she's gone. You know, don't you?" My voice came fast, too fast. My words stumbled, frantic, breathless, before they reached him. disappeared. I said, Tell me, please. The water remembers what the land forgets. He said, The land forgets what the water knows. His voice was almost a whisper, his words almost a song. I shook him hard. I felt his bones shift light and hollow, like birds in flight. Tell me, I shouted, too loud for the silence, too soft for the despair. Tell me what you know. Jenkins didn't flinch, didn't wince. He just looked at me, long and slow, like watching something die. Women who walk too close to the edge find themselves on the other side of the mirror. I felt my body shake. I felt my mind shake. I felt myself crack under the weight, under the grief. Where is she? I shouted. Where? I pulled him close, his face to mine, my breath against his, desperate and ragged and mad. He didn't look away. He didn't look surprised. He waited. She's not gone, he said. She's changed. He paused like a heart stopping. The swans know her name now. I stared, not breathing, not living. He lifted one gnarled finger toward the lake, one thin and patient finger. The water was a mirror. It was memory. It was nightmare. A single white feather floated on the surface, bright and blinding against the dusk. I reached for it, hands shaking, breath caught somewhere between hope and dread. I couldn't stop myself. The need to grasp it, to catch even the faintest piece of what remained. The feather drifted just beyond my touch, weightless, taunting. A breath of wind stirred the air, sent it spinning, dancing away from my fingers as the ground seemed to tilt beneath me, the world unsteady, reeling. I lunged again, desperate, but caught only emptiness. Only the hush of the lake swallowing it whole, the feather vanishing into the waiting mist, folding itself back into the dark, silent water. Some transformations can't be undone, he said. The words drifted like echoes, like ripples. Jenkins didn't wait for more. He turned, soft as mist, step soundless against the earth, folding back into the fog like he'd never been there at all. His shape dissolved between the trees, between the falling dark and the rising mist, leaving me alone at the water's edge, alone with the silence, the swans, the soft pull of the lake. My breath caught. My knees buckled and I knelt, hands trembling, clutching the place where the feather had been, as if that might still mean something. The lake stared back at me, black, smooth, patient. I leaned forward, helpless to look away, desperate for some sign, for anything the water might give. But what stared back wasn't me. The face in the reflection was mine, yes, but hollowed, thinned, the eyes too wide, too dark, the mouth slack with something between grief and surrender. The reflection shuddered, blinked. Its lips moved before mine did. It spoke her name,